Hi ladies, how are you all? I hope you're all doing really well and keeping healthy. So I'm here today with another recipe, and as you can see I've got a complete different lots of ingredients here. So here we have a butternut squash. So as you know, butternut squash is from the same family of pumpkins, and the reason why I wanted to make something around this right now is because, as you know, we're in September, end of September, and October's coming up, which means Halloween's coming up, and that is also the round of time of harvest and the time where pumpkins, you'll see loads and loads of pumpkins in supermarkets, and pumpkins are going to be in season. They are coming in season, so it's a really good idea to somehow get used to some pumpkin recipes, because you will be tempted to buy pumpkins, and actually they're such a versatile vegetable or fruit. It's a bit of a debate. So there's so many things that you can make with it, and so healthy for you. It's packed with fibre, packed with nutrition, and I think it's a shame that people only buy pumpkins just to decorate them for scary stuff for Halloween, whereas you can cook them in so many ways. You can actually squash, you can cook them as a dessert, you can make them in pies, you can use them for savory dishes. So today I'm going to be making a really delicious savory squash curry. So you can call it a squash or a pumpkin curry. I'm going to try and use this recipe as you would do for a pumpkin, because both you can use the pumpkin and the squash. So here we have a squash, and this is from Spain. So this is not a local one, but soon you will get local ones coming up. And then also I have some onions and a tomato, garlic, ginger and green chilies. This is basically all the ingredients you need for this curry. It's so simple. So before I start cutting the the squash, I'm going to peel the onions, and I'm going to let the onions saute in the pan while I'm cutting away the pumpkin, and that's just going to, you know, half our work will be done. It's really important that you plan your cooking. Plan your prep, how you're going to be doing it. It just makes things so much more easier for yourself. So as you can see, I've got my sharp knife out. It's because I'm going to need it for the pumpkin, because it's such a bit of a rough skin. So again, you don't have to be fine how you cut the onions. Just need to give them a thin chop. Make sure you wash everything, even the things that you are going to be peeling off, like the onion skin. There's no harm in washing everything just once more. Nowadays you have to be so careful with hygiene. I mean, you should be anyway, and there's no harm going one step mile. Oh. Okay, so probably need about 3. If you have big onions, then probably about 2. Okay, here's our onions. And at this point, I'm also going to do the garlic and ginger as well, because I'm going to put them in at the same time as the onions. Okay, so I've peeled the garlic and ginger, and I'm just going to give them a quick chop, not too much, not too fine, because everything's going to be cooking very slowly in the pan, and while they're cooking, the garlic and ginger will also kind of just mush up themselves. And that's really what you want. Cutting garlic is really easy. It's the ginger that can be a bit of a troublesome one. That's alright. And it's really important to add a bit of ginger, because ginger kind of balances the sweetness of the squash really well. Okay, oh, I left one onion here. Okay, and this one as well. Alright, that's our main kind of side ingredients done. After this, the main thing is going to be the squash. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this in the pan now, and then about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and let this saute for about 5 minutes. Okay, so there we go. There's our onions and garlic and ginger sauteing, and I'm just going to put this in low heat, very low heat, and just let this slowly cook. Meanwhile, what I've done is I've cut the tomatoes in two halves, and halfway through I'm going to put the tomatoes in here, cover them with the lid, let them steam and cook, and I'm going to peel the skin off, and I'll show you that process when it's needed. Right now we're going to go back to the squash. So here comes the big daddy now. Now, cutting this can be a bit of a mission, but I'm telling you one thing, it is so worth it, because this dish is just so delicious and so healthy. In fact, I don't know how to tell you this, but I get so excited when I make this because of its health benefits. Right, I'm not going to lie to you, this one was a bit hard to cut. This one took a bit of my energy in, so that's why I kind of just did it behind the camera so you didn't hear my struggling. But once you cut it in half, it kind of gets easier. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take these seeds out. Now, if you want to, and you're a very resourceful person, then you can use the seeds to dry them, and some pumpkin seeds are really good for you, really nutritious. Yeah, I would usually dry them and keep them, but I just don't have the time today to go through all that process, so unfortunately I'm just going to put them on the side and I'll do them later on. Okay, now I am going to wash the pumpkin, but I'm going to wash it once it's cut, because right now it's still going to do a bit of roly-poly around my chopping board. Right, so like I said, once this is all done, it's so worth it. And don't get frightened that this will take so much time to cook, because it's so hard to cut and so tough on the skin. The longer it takes to cut, the shorter it takes to cook, because that's how soft the flesh is inside. Remember, this vegetable, it's 80% water, so that's why it's got such a high content of fibre in it as well. So that's why it's so much easier to cook, and then when you mix it with temperature, it melts so quickly and so easily. Right, so we've done that bit, and we're just going to peel it like this. Don't be afraid that you're peeling off too much skin. As long as you take the white bit off, you're fine. Otherwise, you're kind of left with a very bitter flesh, and you don't want that taste in your curry. Otherwise, it can, you know, just really spoil the taste. So yeah. I would still always recommend that you buy fresh pumpkin, not tinned pumpkin, if you can. I mean, obviously for convenience sake, and when it's not in season, then it makes sense. But otherwise, if you do have the opportunity to buy fresh, then always go for fresh. Even frozen as well. Frozen squash is quite good as well, because it's kind of freeze as soon as it's brought in season. Right, I just want to show you the onion so that you can see everything's really nice and golden. Not all of it's golden, but that's exactly how I wanted it right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in the tomatoes in here. And let me just show you how I'm going to add in the tomatoes. So I'm going to put the tomatoes upside down, so flat face down. You're probably thinking that's a lot of tomatoes. I'm not actually using any tomato tins, I'm just using fresh tomatoes. And these are not just to help to give the taste, but a bit of colour as well. And I'm going to put the lid on and let the tomatoes steam in there on very low heat for about 5 minutes. Okay. Back to our pumpkin station, and let's carry on peeling the pumpkin. Okay, I have finally cut the pumpkin, and like I said, it was a bit of a mission this time. I think it was a big pumpkin, but anyway, it was all worth it. So now what I'm going to do, I've washed the pumpkin as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to really finely chop the pumpkin. Again, you can leave them in chunks, but if you want it just to cook a little bit faster and you want it to be a bit fine, then just try and do them as small as you can. I'm not going to do them too small, just however easy it will be. Okay, and while you're cooking pumpkin, just to warn you, if you're not used to it, there is a bit of a smell There will be a bit of a smell in the kitchen, almost like, you know, when you're cooking broccoli and there's a bit of a smell. There will be a bit of a smell in the kitchen, only for a few minutes, just while the pumpkin's kind of melting a little bit. But after that, it will be kind of all nice, and once all the aromas are mixed together, it will be all worth it. Pumpkin doesn't really have an odor or anything. It's just I don't know how to describe the smell of pumpkin. I don't know. I guess you're just gonna have to cook it to know what I mean. Right? So, as you can see, some are very small, some are very big. It just depends on, you know, your knife skills, and unfortunately my knife skills are not that great, as you already know. So like I said, this vegetable is really good for your health. Lots of health benefits. If you suffer from constipation, this is like the go-to food to have. This is the you know, medically acclaimed vegetable to have. I'm actually making this to take to my mum's house today. My mum's not been too well. She's been on bed rest, and she's kind of she takes a lot of medication for her asthma, and that causes a lot of side effects with her constipation. And so she asked me to make her something that will kind of clear her system, and I knew exactly what she would want. I knew exactly what would be perfect for her, and I told her over the phone that, Mum, I'm going to make you my pumpkin curry. She was so happy on the phone. She was so happy, and she said to me, make sure you don't eat. Make sure when you bring the food to me, we will both eat together, because for us this is like a delight. This is like a you know, it's not something that you'll make every day. So when you do make it, it's something special, and you want to have it with someone that you like, you know, that would enjoy your interest. So me and my mum going to get together today, and we're going to enjoy this curry. Yeah, and I think it's going to put a smile on her face. Oops. Right. Almost there, guys. So I've chopped the pumpkin. Before I add them in, I just want to show you the onion, the tomatoes have been cooking for a good few minutes now, and they're very, very nice and soft. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel off the, I have to do it with a thumb, but I have to do it with both hands. So I'm just going to show you, for example, I'm going to just peel off the skin from here, and what that will do, that will allow the tomatoes to form into a really nice kind of paste. Unfortunately, I can't do it with the camera, so I'm just showing you exactly what I'm doing, and then I'm going to just do them, and then, yep. Okay, so if you can tell now, the skin of the tomatoes have come off really, really nicely. You don't have to do this process, but if you want a nice smooth kind of texture in your mouth, because the pumpkin's going to be very nice and mushy, then you wouldn't want to taste the peel. Right, now I'm going to add in the pumpkin. Okay, I've added in the pumpkin now, and I'm going to increase the heat just for a few minutes, just so everything kind of gets together. Give this a good mix, and then I'm going to continue mixing this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'm going to put the lid back on and let everything kind of melt and, you know, mush up together, and it's going to become so lovely and beautiful. And while this is happening, we are going to prepare our spices, which is not too many. The less spices you add, the more tasty, and the more you'll be able to taste the pumpkins. Okay. Now, I just want to show you for the spices. What I've got for the spices is I've got some salt, black pepper, some cumin seeds, some turmeric powder, and some chili powder. Now, I'm not adding too much chili powder because I will be adding some green chilies, and the green chilies are more for the aroma, so I don't want the curry to be too over spiced or to be too over chili. So as you can see, there's not too much of everything. Now, before I add in the spices, I'd just like to show you that, here we go, here's the pumpkin. It's been cooking in here for about 2 to 3 minutes, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lid on, add a little bit of water, and let the lid kind of steam away the vegetables. At this point, if you wanted to, you could add some vegetable stock and cook this into a soup. You could blitz it completely fine, and it will be a delicious pumpkin soup. But I'm not making pumpkin soup, I'm making pumpkin curry. So I'm going to be adding the spices and cooking it into a a curry. So just showing you how versatile this recipe is. At this point, if you wanted to, you could switch this into a soup. Right, so we're going to go back and we're going to add in the spices. In goes all the spices, and then I'm going to give this a good mix. But you're probably thinking why I'm adding turmeric, as there's already so much yellow with the pumpkin. Turmeric kind of enhances all the flavours, and it's kind of the binding spice for any kind of curry. Right, and give that a good mix, and then I'm going to add in about half a cup of water, not too much water, even actually a quarter cup of water, and then let this kind of steam. And then you'll see some magic happening, because the pumpkin's going to turn so lovely and soft. Okay. Alright guys, we're almost towards the finale now. Now the pumpkin has been cooking for a good 10 minutes. Lovely and soft, and I'm going to just show you how soft it is. I don't even need to put any effort, and it's so soft. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the heat. So I want the water to dry. And while the heat is increased, I'm going to give this a good mix for about a minute, and I'm going to be very, what should I say, violent with the way I'm mixing it, because what I want to do is kind of mash up the pumpkin. Now it's up to you if you want to mash it up or not. You can leave it as a whole, but because we are going to eating this with chapati, with it needs to be able to come in the, be able to eat with the chapati, so I want it to be a bit mushy. But before I carry on doing that, I'm going to add in the green chilies. Oops. So I've got about 4 chopped green chilies here. Again, you put the green chilies according to your own taste. And by doing this, as I'm mixing them, you'll be able to taste the green chilies as well. I've also added in loads of coriander. I didn't have coriander, so I'm using parsley, but for me, coriander and parsley very similar, so they'll have the kind of similar taste. Alright, and I'm going to give this a mix. Alright guys, here we go. Pumpkin curry is done, and this is how it looks, and I can't tell you, this looks, tastes and smells so delicious. So I hope you enjoy this, and I'm going to try and give you a bit of a picture without the steam so you can see how beautiful it actually looks. Alright, so I'm going to take this to my mum's now, and we are going to enjoy this for our lunch, and this is just a delight. Alright guys, see you next week. Bye bye.